What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today I'm going to try to clear up some misconceptions I see a lot about defense in Dragon Ball, and hopefully this will help you understand the game a little bit more, and will get your defense better. So the first thing we have to do is talk about something that's not in the game, actually, which is push block. So people beg for push block to be in this game. I see it in the comments all the time on my own videos and other people's videos, tournament videos, blah blah blah, about how much better this game would be if push block was in the game. And my response to that is, if you think this game will be better with push block in the game, you don't understand this game. Push block will ruin Dragon Ball FighterZ as it is right now, and they would have to basically remake all the characters from the ground up, or make it so that the characters act as they're in sparking all the time, which means like the jump cancelable normals, air dash cancelable normal, stuff like that. Push block only works because the characters are so strong. That's why push block is there. The characters in those games like Marvel and stuff, or Vampire Savior, are so good that you have to have something that literally gets you off them, or else they're just on you and mixing you up with unseeable high lows and stuff all the time. But the characters in Dragon Ball are built from a point of weakness, not of strength, if you think about it. Most of the characters in Dragon Ball don't have moves that are plus and block. They can't jump cancel anything. They can't air dash cancel anything. And almost everything they do is minus. So if you had push block on top of that, you're pushing me away full screen after I'm doing like something like this. Like, there would really have to change the way this game works from top to bottom. And on top of that, so as far as the moves being minus thing, it's kind of fine because you have assist. Like, oh well, yeah, this is like -6 or whatever, but if you call Trunks, it's like plus 24. That's so strong. Okay, but in Season 3, they have changed it so you don't get assist back until you can tag, right? Or your opponent, I should say, can tag. So in the case where I do this, I can do this all day. As long as Regina doesn't get hit, my assist will not come back. They will just never come back. They will not come back. It is a very, very, very big change. And if you understand frame data, then you realize, so basically, you quite literally only have 2 chances to hit them with assists. If you keep trying to like do, let's say, Season 2 style reset, so for example, Base Regina is actually pretty good at this. He can do Evil Kick and RPSU, he can do Destructo Disc and RPSU, although Gohan has like 2L or like 3L, Kid Buu has like 2S. Those characters are really good at doing something that keeps them mobile, and they can make you guess and then get their turn back and get their assist back. Now you can't do that anymore. So on the defensive side, you have a couple things you could do. You could try to just like get out with stuff, or occasionally, and especially if their team isn't, if you can see that their team doesn't have like really scary mix-ups on their team, you could just sit there until they use their assists, and after they use their assists, what are they going to hit you with? This? All they really have that is hard truly to defend is Dragon Rage, right? And even then, with no threat of high-low, you could train yourself to defend that too. So understanding the frame data of this game will actually make you feel more comfortable in cases where they don't have assists, or if they're playing characters that don't traditionally have good mix-ups. So next, I want to talk a little bit about Reflect. So Reflect is the first like actual mechanic I'm going to talk about. Before, I just talked about frame data concept, right? So Reflect is a great example of what Dragon Ball is. It's relatively high risk, I would say, or like medium risk at least, and the return is really high when you do it. So picking spots where to do Reflect is really, really, really crucial. You don't want to just mash on it, because if they bait you, they're going to use a medium starter and destroy you. You want to pick spots generally where you have other options that they have to look out for too. So they're trying to cover those, and then Reflect is frame 1, so you'd have to like somehow do something to beat that as well on top of those other things. Sounds a little loaded. A real good example of this would be Knockdown. So when you knock someone down like that, you have things to think about. Up tech, you have to think about neutral tech, reflect, and then down tech. So if you look at the whole scope of what they have, up tech, neutral tech, and all the options they have like that with their, you know, they might have a DP, they might have level 3, they kind of do like reversal sparking, they could be holding tag, and then on top of that, delay down, which adds dash out of the corner, it adds reflect still there, mash, or jump, or block. So in that type of context, reflect's really strong because the person who's attacking is going to try to cover those options, but they can't really cover everything. Like, they could try, like, usually you get pretty close, but you can't really cover everything, and this is a good spot where, to use reflect, if they try to beat specifically your reflect, then you could usually do other stuff. This type of interaction happens a lot. So there's some people who will only cover up tech, but not neutral tech, so you could like run out of the corner or mash. There's some people who they'll try to cover all the techs, and if you, let's say, delay down tech, they'll just like stand in your face and like mash. Like, let's say like Yanab's just auto combo or something, you can reflect that. That's a really good spot to use reflect. Also in block strings, of course, reflect is a pretty good thing to use, but it depends on how they're doing your pressure. So a character like base Regina is really scary because he has this move, and it's 22 frames, so there is no airtight move into this at all. So generally, the most advantage you have off your ground normals is 15 frames. They would have to make you basically block something in the air, and even still, you'd have a frame to do something, right? Now, the thing about this move, though, is that you kind of, this is like the Kid Buu problem, he can special cancel into this move off anything. So it's kind of hard to like see, and he has a lot of other options too, so you'd kind of have to, let's say, guess the reflect. If he does a key blast and you guess reflect, you're done. Like, he's going to do this, he's going to loop you, he's going to build 3 bars, 2.5 bars, whatever, and then he's going to level 3 you, and now you're really in trouble. So what do you do? Do you bet on it, or do you not bet on it? Tough answer. It's actually a pretty hard answer of what to do. You can choose to not challenge it and just let him go airborne and then play that game after. You could choose to challenge it and then get out. It depends on you, right? But not all characters have structures like this, right? For characters, more standard characters, reflect can be a pretty good thing to get people off you if they're trying to stagger a lot, reset their pressure a lot. Once they use their assist especially, they can't keep on doing minus stuff to you successfully if you use reflect. And reflect is a better way, not a better way totally, but it's another way you could use besides like mashing or jumping to like layer your defense a little bit. You want to think of reflect as an extra option rather than like, this is the way I'm going to get them off me at all times. So next up, guard cancel. And just like my other defense videos, when I talk about guard cancel, I really hope you take away a lot from this part, because guard cancel gets a pretty bad rap in this game, and they actually have done a good job. Generally, since the game has come out, guard cancel has gotten a bad rap of like not being good, being worthless, being too easy to deal with, but it's almost always because people don't know how to time it right and how to use it the right way. So if they're just like drilling buttons, it's pretty easy to guard cancel, but when people have like more developed offense, it's pretty tough to time. You can't just like do that. So here's me like trying to guard cancel normal people, but then this string comes out like that. You want to aim for the active frames of the move, not after you block a move. That is big rule number 1. Rule number 2, if possible, don't guard cancel moves that are like -5, -4, all the safe on block moves. You want to aim for, and this is usually later in the string, right? Moves that are like mashable if they let it recover. So moves like Trunks' sweep is like a perfect example of that, or like this is like -6. That's a pretty good example of that. Why? Because generally they will not let these moves recover. They will cancel these moves into a move that's safe. So in the case of like base Vegeta, you don't want to like guard cancel this move because they could do nothing and they're willing to delay it a lot. as opposed to like this move is fine because it's generally punishable, right? Punishable meaning like if he let it rock, you could mash. So they're going to do something else. Also, special moves are not necessarily a bad idea depending on the type of move it is, but that's really character specific, so you'd have to check. If you use guard cancel the right way, it's like a safer tag, and you can even take the corner by using vanish if you do it in the corner. That really turns the pace of the game around. Alright, so that's it about defense. So I hope that stuff made sense. In this game, understanding defense like conceptually is pretty important because it's like a half versus game, half anime game, but like the anime part is, I won't say dumbed down, but instead they just have a lot of like preventative stuff to make it easier for the defender actually. The reason why I feel so bad on the defensive side is that when you are wrong on defense, you die. When you're wrong on offense, similarly, you die too. Like when someone gets a reflect, like if base Regina reflects you and kicks you, I get a touch of death. If Team Gohan reflects you and kicks you, he gets a touch of death. Like the punishment is extreme on both ends, right? So even though you're on defense, just relax. Make sure you make good choices and remember these things, especially if you're really spooked. You have guard cancel, you have reflect, you have sparking. There's a lot of things you can do, and the game rewards you a lot for doing them. So keep that in mind. Remember, the game's defensive mechanics are really good, actually. You just have to choose when to use them well because there is more risk assigned to them compared to other games, but the return is higher too. It's a very common theme throughout this game. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about this. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.